Good day. I was just listening to Ray's recent album, just from top to bottom, um, and I've been toying with this idea of doing these kind of YouTube vlog videos, and I just didn't have the guts to put myself back out there again. And I also wanted to come into it, very energized and not crying, which I've been doing to her songs, because there's something about someone speaking from a place they've been themselves, and using all those experiences and obstacles and pain to help someone else. And particularly Ray's song, I Know You're Hurting, and as well as the end of Click Clack, where she says, the cold will, something like this, the cold will pass, it's only there to make the heart burn. And in her song, I Know You're Hurting, she says, don't give up on believing in miracles. I know you're burning deep inside, and don't give up on your life. And I don't know if you guys have been fangirling her as much as I have recently, but following her story of being silenced and having to push through and knowing you carry so much. We see that now, obviously, right? She knew she had so much in her, and there was a wall or a ceiling kind of covering that, and she pushed through it, obviously, and it's very inspiring. So I guess it got me to just want to celebrate an artist's fight, an artist's bravery, vulnerability, kindness, and this is so gross. I have this song where I also say, I have big dreams, I know, it's time to let him show. I'm in, I'm all in. Who cares what people say? We're all gonna die anyway, as long as we have each other. And for many months, I have not been able to listen to that song. It's something that's taunted me, because I definitely felt embarrassed and humiliated to have been so open that I have big dreams, and when things didn't pan out the way I hoped, I chose to bury them. And try to change the narrative that it was a line in House of Cards, actually. I don't know if you've seen it, but the guy who runs the steakhouse, he brought his grandson to the White House, and the president told him the grandson that, maybe one day you'll be the president. And afterwards, I can't remember his name, the steakhouse guy, his grandfather says, "Don't you believe him?" Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. Putting it all out there. Grandfather says to his grandson, or paraphrasing, "Don't eat that up. People like you and me, we can't afford to have big dreams." And I did agree, because of how hurt I was, that it's not safe to have big dreams. It's best to make practical, achievable dreams so that you don't get hurt or disappointed. And the confusing thing in all this is that I've been trying to also crush ambition for fame and like money, like those superficial type dreams. Like they've just been so intertwined with becoming successful, or like doing my craft or art or something well. Like I thought they had to go hand in hand. And my husband called me out. He's like, "All you want to be famous. Like, admit it. You want to be rich. You want to be famous." And I'm like, "No, I just want to feel like there's like a momentum with the art I'm creating, and I want an audience." And he's saying, "Well, you need to be famous to have an audience. So, ergo, you must want to be rich and famous." And I guess it's like was true. I denied it, obviously, but I'm sure like parts of it are true or have been. And the way I at least was hurting myself, comparing myself, beating myself up for like not getting there, was obviously not healthy. And so because of that, I just decided to scrap the whole thing and just label it like unsafe. And that is good, right? Like music is the purest. The safest. It doesn't help that I actually have a cold as well. I haven't had a good cry like this in a while. Another line by Ray. I'm gonna butcher it, but like back here in these dark emotions that I thought I had gotten over. I've worked so hard this last like 6-7 months to reshape my idea of success, my goals, uh, the things that will fulfill me. I've tried to ground them in my family, my good friends, my health, nature, God, to rewire my brain to pursue health in those areas as success. And that is achievable. Like every day I have joy, every day I have peace, every day I have fulfillment, because as long as I'm taking those small steps every day to nurture those areas, I'm a whole good person. I'm living in overflow, and I can be proud of myself. And it is like, I must say, most of the time I am there. And I've also been telling people I've retired from the music industry. I've told everyone, like, I'm at a point where I'm trying to just be grateful for what I did get to experience, and the gigs I got to play, the people I got to meet, the music I got to create. I'm just grateful, and I'm also not regretful, because I did try, right? So I'm proud of myself, and I sort of said that I will not try this again. Like, I'm going back to physiotherapy now, which is my degree, and it was a plan B for a reason. And it's something that's stable. It's something that I can manage, even though it has its own challenges, like any job. But I've told my husband, I've told friends, industry friends, like, yeah, I am just gonna do this as my hobby now, as my own safe space. And it took months before I could even touch a guitar again, or felt in the mental space where I could write again. And that's just very recently come back to me. So I've just been so protective of it and careful to make sure I can just stay in my safe bubble with music and not let it get poisoned again with those ambitions that are hurting the soul. Because what is so beautiful about music, when it gets to be what it just is it's like a rave. She also says this, which I've said before too, but kind of stopped believing, is music is medicine. It holds us, it embraces us, it doesn't solve our problems at all, but we feel less alone in that moment, and it's almost like things will be okay. And it's just been, for me, such a place for dealing with my thoughts. I'm an external processor, so often if I just don't write, it's just all in there, and I don't know why my body's hurting until I start writing and I realize all the things I'm thinking about carrying. And I've really liked the idea that, then all my challenges, painful or amazing, they all get to be dealt with like a chapter in a book, and I get to resolve it and move on, and I get to make something beautiful out of things that things that were just meant to be painful. I can turn something beautiful out of horrible things, and at least I get that, right? And or just forever encapsulate or save something beautiful that happened, and I'll have that forever to remind myself and leave behind. So it is the best thing I know. It is the safest thing I know, and I'm generally just felt remorseful to music that I let it get where I swore I would never get, like letting it get so intertwined with things that are not fulfilling. And just been feeling like such an underdog and imposter that I would just take advice from anyone and just believe that, yeah, I do suck, so whatever you're saying is probably true, so I need to change, I need to learn and grow and like be better. Elements of that for sure are valid, like you can always grow in your art. Um, but I'm there now where I'm just gonna not care too much about what I hear is like the right way to do something, or because nobody knows. Like, no one can make an ABC for music because it is not something that is so easily explainable. Like, what I enjoy with going to the gym is once you have the basics down, it's very easy to progress. With music, it's just a whole other. There are no rules, and that's what's been so hard to understand. There are no rules, and I entered into the music industry like music world like anybody. We start as noobs, right? And we just fall in love with it, and the little we learn, we use it to the max, and we still make something beautiful out of it, even though we don't know the music theory or yeah. Possibilities are endless, and no one can put like a formula on it. So this idea of like success for me moving forward needs to be not. Sarah Larson said this. It's just like girl fanning right here, but Sarah Larson said, "I don't want to be the best. I just want to be the most me." Because when you're trying to be the best, you're competing, and I think I fall into that so easily because I'm just so competitive nature, like from cross country, from martial arts, from with myself. Like I push myself so hard too, and I can easily be competitive, but I want to be the best me that I can be, fully, wholly, unrestrained. Dochi said this with audacity, and I just don't know what that is yet because I've just been trying to fit in everywhere and do what everybody thinks is the right way to do stuff. And it's hard because I do need people, but learning to like trust my compass in all of that is where we are headed. As I'm going to release something which I haven't done in, I haven't released my own song, like a new one, since November 24. Don't for a second. And what happened there was, and why it was hard to release anything else, was I didn't see the momentum that I wanted to see, which I had felt was building, just kind of, and I got so wrecked over that, and it hurt so, there's a word for it. No, it just hurt so much more because that song that I released last on my EP was about not comparing yourself, about believing that you are good the way you are. And I like did the opposite of that. I got so frustrated and annoyed and like turned on my own advice, my own songs, you know, and yeah. Um, so since then, I kind of lost a little bit of the initial motivation. I released a live recording of that song a little bit later, and I released a collab that was like more on the electronic side, but it wasn't like my music. I had written some verses and sang on the chorus, but it wasn't like birthed in a sense from me. So yeah, I haven't released my own music all of 2025, and I have this song that is Norwegian of all things, which I've never done before, but I was given an opportunity by my sync company to pitch a song for a children's animation film, and I had this one song in mind that fit the order, but I had to rewrite it into Norwegian, and I did, and it didn't get picked. They stayed with the same demo they used to like, yeah. Anyway, but I wrote that song, and it was like for me very tailored towards the story of that film. What was so interesting was that looking back at it now, it is so telling of the place I was at myself with being so scared of going out into the deep and not wanting to look silly, not wanting to admit that I'm scared, but wanting to be brave and wanting to I'm crying, oh my gosh, not wanting to give up, hiding behind a mask, which not just with the music, like that's been my life, is masking a lot. So I was just reminded of this song, like if I was going to release something now before I get into what I always dreamt of doing was recording an album, and that's going to be in English. So I was like, this is the time for this song. It's just so fitting. I'm in some ways right where I want to be, where I no longer have like any ambition connected to it, in the sense of like, I'm not going to try to make a career out of this. As I told you, I'm going back to physio, and I'm so okay with that, which has been a huge, huge long-term thing that my friends and family are like, whoa, something's changed in you if you're okay to go back to physio. And I'm so grateful for that process and where I'm at now with that. So it's like, I'm okay, I have money, eventually when I get the job, I have what I need. Like, I'm not doing this to like put a roof over my head. I'm doing this because it's like my hobby that I want to share with the world, and something awesome that I believe in, yeah. Music is meant to be heard. I don't agree with my husband that just because I want an audience that I want fame. So yeah, so I'm gonna release that song at some point, and I got into talks with the producer, and he's like doing it as a passion project for free for me. We wrote it together at a camp anyway, so it's very much his and mine, and he's called Einar, and then there's Lasse from Finland, who we just like met that day and wrote this beautiful celebration of joy together, and he like plays the keys on it, which I feel like just captured exactly the nerve, the that yeah, I was in the room that day where when I said I wanted like this Coldplay moment where you see like people in a stadium with their lights, but they're also just like holding each other, and it's a community feeling, and everyone's just so high on life, and yeah, I feel like the song has that. And so I'm proud to release it eventually. So we're in the talks of doing that at some point, and I'm also excited to like think of some shoots for it and stuff. So this is the fun part of music, right? But I'm telling myself that like this time in, I'm not doing it to be like put on any like playlist or like I'm not trying hard to get into a radio thing like I've done before. I also burned some bridges there, and I'm just gonna release it to like you guys, whoever finds it, and for me. And it's finally enough. Like it's, I always hoped I would get here, and I know I'm like crying right now, but it's like happy tears, just because Ray just she touched something burning deep down. That's what she does, and uh, someone's creativity inspires, creativity, the the hearer or the seer. So I appreciate that a lot, and uh, hoping that I can be that person for someone one day. But this was not how I planned to like get back online. I've just had a social media, time off for a long time, and it's like the best, and it's so unnerving to try to go back in there, and I just don't want to. So I'm not ready to be on like Instagram or whatever, because people that I know follow me there. So I just thought it would be cool to just build something here on YouTube where strangers who connect over the same joys and pains, and that feels like something I can handle. So welcome to this messy, beautiful life.